Dudes Sitting in a Sports Bar podcast.
Two dudes in a bar.
Well, right now it's two Browns fans sitting in a
Two
sports
Browns
bar
fans
podcast.
at a sports bar.
Promise it won't be all Brown stuff. Some Brown stuff at the same time.
We're going to talk about the Browns.
We will. But we're here at the Upstairs Bar and Grill here in beautiful Cruz Bay, St. John.
It is a nice Wednesday morning.
I've been lucky. I just got off a boat from Greece. Beautiful weather there, too.
And your butt's fine?
It is absolutely fine. My stomach's a little bit kind of off right now.
Too many olives? You didn't eat the pits, did you?
No, I didn't eat the pits. It's just I've never done an all-inclusive anything, especially with a drink package. So I was joking around telling everybody that I was actually looking forward to being hungry again. You eat nonstop, and it's all great food.
Well, you're in the right place.
Oh, yeah, no.
You come to the right place to be hungry, buddy.
Dude, I gained 13 pounds in like 10 days. 13.
Well, you look great.
Well, thank you, but I'm starting to sweat it all out. But I mean, it was amazing. But like the bad part about it was I missed like 2 weeks of amazing stuff on sports. I had to wake up at 4 a.m. just to watch the Browns game the day before we left.
Well, I'll give you the Steelers-Browns game sucked. That was a really bad game to watch.
Yes, it was really disappointing. But you were just saying before we started the podcast that it's starting to look like with T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett going back and forth, it's turning into what, like a Larry Bird?
Magic Johnson. I mean, yeah, I wish Milton would probably hit the buzzer on that, but...
No, it's true though. And
they play the game in different ways, and like T.J. Watt is like that. I'm gonna have a stroke and get excited after every play, and
Myles Garrett's running around.
Myles Garrett's like running around, like doing a Showtime thing,
doing whatever he wants to do. And then obviously Nick Chubb has this catastrophic injury that reminded me of like a Willis McGahee injury.
No, did you see They said it's MCL only.
Which is a miracle, because if my knee bent at that angle, they'd have to amputate from the knee down. Moving along, that was ugly. This week, though, the big story that's going on, not an almost record-setting performance by the Miami Dolphins, Taylor Swift.
Are we doing this again?
Of course we are,
because
this just happened this week. I know it's been going on for a while now. But for the first time, they actually make a public appearance. And the big debate right now is what's bigger, Taylor Swift or NFL?
She went to the game. I don't know if that's a public appearance. It's not like they weren't like fucking on camera.
Well, I mean, they did walk out of the game together. They got in the same convertible, and now.
Oh, I didn't see that. My Swift DAR wasn't going off on. I didn't get my Taylor Swift phone alerts like I usually do.
But right now, it's a clash of two completely different worlds. In my head, here was the comparison. It's like aliens just came to Earth, and now we don't know what they're capable of.
Predators right here.
And they don't know what we're capable of.
It's alien versus Predator.
You have NFL people that are getting submerged in this Taylor Swift culture.
Did you see Kelsey's jersey sales?
Up 400%?
400%.
That's, my whole point to this thing is I don't think he's taking it serious. I think he...
Look at the fucking mustache, dude. Look at that. You can't have that mustache and take anything seriously. That's the entire point of that mustache.
Mustaches are back in, though.
Unless you're a cop.
Mustaches are back in.
Unless you're pulling Taylor Swift over, that's the only reason you would have that mustache to talk to Taylor Swift, I feel like.
I don't think he knew it would go this far. I think he was just throwing it out there on social media as one of those things, be like, yeah, Taylor Swift, I shot my shot, and then there was this, and now all of a sudden she's around. I think that they're both just taking advantage of this. They walked out, they weren't holding hands.
Well, I mean, her tour is over. She's doing publicity for her tour. Mm-hmm. And shockingly, the NFL season has just started, and he plays for probably the highest profile team in the NFL right now.
This is true.
Shocker how that works out.
I'm hoping that this has the same result as it did about, 10, 15 years ago with Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson?
You know what? I'm hoping they just have a bunch of babies together and have a great time.
For what it's worth, I hope that it's going to
be... that was Buffalo Springfield. That wasn't Taylor Swift.
What was the line?
For what it's worth.
I didn't even...
That was a Buffalo Springfield song, not Taylor Swift.
You're the karaoke guy. I can't hear the lyrics to any songs. I could tell
that was the name of the song.
I'm gonna have to listen to that now on the way home. But at the moment, I don't think it's a distraction. I don't think it's gonna go up in flames. I just, like I said, I hope it's gonna be.
How's it a distraction? He had another, touchdown?
Yeah, to put him up 41 to nothing at the time.
100 yards. They beat the shit out of the Bears.
Oh, the poor Bears.
And while you were gone, we were constantly having talks about who's the worst team in the NFL right now. And we have been saying Cardinals. We've been going hard Cardinals for a while.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, how about them boys, Milton?
I
wish you were here, buddy. But, man.
Here's the thing. I know that they lost Trayvon Diggs. I know that they lost him in the secondary. Another random injury.
Whatever, man. That fucking Cardinals just took him to the woodshed, man.
I think that the Cowboys just played the Cardinals as the Cardinals. I don't think the Cowboys played as the Cowboys. I think that was a fluke. I think week 3 for them was a lie. I'm not buying that. I think the Cowboys bounce back and they're fine. The Cardinals with Josh Dobbs.
I agree that the Cowboys, are still a 11-win team.
Yep.
But I'm sorry, in week 2 this is a transcendent defense, 17-0. This team is unstoppable.
To be fair, Cowboys fans
that's
say that every single year.
That's fucking Cowboys fans. That's just what's happening. And I'm glad we don't have a Cowboys fan to defend himself on this.
That might be the best thing to happen to the Cowboys, though. I think they needed a little bit of a slap in the face because everybody was riding them. They had them in the top 5 in the power rankings before the season started. The Cardinals steal one from them. But going back to the Bears, dude, they're awful. I knew Justin Fields wasn't going to be like a great NFL quarterback. They looked at his rookie season and said, okay, he's got all these intangibles and everything. I didn't see it.
Well, Bears.
Bears.
Shit. Justin Fields is like 5-21,
and making
it's his last. I was talking about this yesterday at the bar. This is his last. This has got to be his last year in Chicago, unless something crazy happens.
Last year in Chicago, and then I don't know. What does he become a starter somewhere else, or does he become the ultimate journeyman as a backup QB?
Who would give him a shot?
I think you're right. Probably the indoor arena league. He's going to become the new AJ McCarron.
Maybe he can play wide receiver. Maybe he can move to the slot.
That's
do
true.
Do a little Terrell Pryor action. Work for him.
Forgot about that.
Well, Terrell Pryor had a great season.
He did
as a wide receiver,
even with the Browns, with nobody to throw it to him.
Yeah,
he actually played great with that. And then another Browns quarterback that's coming up this year, even though they looked like crap the other day, Baker Mayfield.
As a Browns fan, I've had so many people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, what are your thoughts on Baker having a great season so far?" And I'm like, "It's first of all, I wish him all the best."
Same.
And what I have told them is, wait till he starts doing goddamn commercials. Or wait till he gets in prime time.
Don't let him do the progressive commercials.
The second he gets into prime time and has to do things other than he's quarterbacking and the lights are on him. Mm-hmm. You see what happened Monday night.
I will say this: Philadelphia didn't give it their best, and they still beat them pretty handily. I'm still a little upset that we gave up on Baker Mayfield because I thought when he was healthy, he gave us a little bit of swagger, took us to the playoffs, beat the Steelers in an empty stadium, with absolutely
COVID.
nobody there. So that obviously does play a little bit of a factor into that because who knows what would have happened if there was a full stadium full of terrible towels. But I felt like we could have given him a little bit more. But at the same time, I think I'm happier with Deshaun Watson. I know he hasn't really proven what he can be if he can go back to being the old Houston Deshaun Watson.
He hit 300 yards this week. But it was, our defense beat the brakes off the Titans. When you keep him in double digits in total yards.
Was it 94 yards or something like that?
Yeah, 96.
Which is the fewest yards that they've had since they were since the conception
since
of the
Warren
Oilers.
Moon.
Yes, since they were the Houston Oilers way back in the day. So, that's exciting. And another thing, since moving along,
bad teams, the Broncos. You let up 70 points to anyone.
70 points and the opportunity.
Could be incarnate word. You let up 70 points. We're going to talk about it.
I saw some of the highlights from the game, but it wasn't even like Miami was trying to absolutely destroy them. They weren't trying to. It
No,
wasn't like they were trying to embarrass. They were just
the
scoring
Broncos. Well, the Broncos. There was a couple times like I saw the Broncos turned it over on their own like 10-yard line.
Mm-hmm. And then
I don't think Russ. I think Russ is.
Oh yeah, he's
I
cooking.
think Russ has fallen off the cliff.
Is Russ still cooking?
I mean, like you talk about that, like that cliff. Like once you get into your late 30s, I don't know how old Russ is. I want to say he's got to be.
Well, he's what, since 2012, 2013 is when he came out?
36, 37?
Yeah, it's right around 2013 that he came out in the draft.
And it's like depressing because I'm like, oh, this guy's like my age. And that's when you start being a bad quarterback in the NFL.
Well, now it's all of a sudden like these guys are starting to get their golden parachute, and they're almost falling off. It's too early to say that with Joe Burrow. I know that they just won against, the Rams the other night, 19-16.
They didn't look good.
No.
He didn't look good.
And I don't know if it's this calf injury that's still plaguing him or if this is just becoming a theme where these quarterbacks get their huge contract and then they just kind of go away for a little bit. I haven't heard a peep out of what Lamar Jackson's been doing this season. I know that they're 2-1.
They lost to the Colts. Justin Tucker finally missed the 60-yard game-winning kick.
Oh, thank God!
Did you see
Yeah,
that at all?
I saw the very last one.
It was time running out in the clock, 61-yard field goal. The announcers stat cursing him he's like, well, Justin Tucker has the leg for this. Like, there's one thing. If there's one thing he misses this, it's left or right. Short.
Wow, he shorted it?
He shorted it. He missed
Okay.
it short.
I definitely didn't see that. I thought that he was still coming off of that 66-yarder that he hit in Detroit.
Then the Colts dude hit a 53-yarder in overtime, and
I saw that. So that's fantastic.
Gardner,
for the AFC
you
North.
lose to Gardner Minshew. That's
Does he still have the mustache?
he does.
You know what? I always liked that guy.
He's got moxie. He's got
Exactly.
the grit.
Weirdly enough, I think he is something that Baker Mayfield was aspiring to be. Somebody that everybody can kind of get behind. That's just like this. Tough, small-town guy.
Progressive, sign Gardner Minshew to your insurance commercials.
Well, I'm not worried about the Colts,
Oh no.
but he did come from Jacksonville, which Jacksonville looked horrendous this past weekend.
That's the other thing I was going to say with alluding to that is AFC South's wide open now. I think they're all 1-2.
Yeah, Houston. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Houston won their game.
CJ Stroud looked good.
He did look really
and
good.
I will finally give him his name credit.
not
Bryce Young.
Stroud.
Bryce Young, it's on you now. CJ Stroud looked good.
Well, advantage CJ Stroud because that division is so weak right now. Carolina's got to play in a division with who? Jacksonville or Tampa Bay. New Orleans.
That division sucks.
Which
too. Those are the two. Both the Souths are clearly they're competitive with each other because they're all bad together.
So it's going to be one of those 8 and 9 teams to make the playoffs. I mean, it gets home field advantage just because they won their division.
I mean, I'm allowed to say this because Jeff's sick, but the Saints had that game and just gave it to the Packers.
Yep, gave it right. Which the Jordan Love experiment, is that starting to go well for them? They beat the Bears.
Well,
so
he did
his job there.
He had a great week 1, then they lost to the Falcons week 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then week 3, they were down big, and then Carr got hurt, and Jameis came in and lost that game for him.
Jameis Winston, my favorite fantasy quarterback I've ever had on my team. 30 TDs, 30 picks.
Got to risk it to get the biscuit, dude.
But you know what? To his credit, you know what? Even when he is a backup quarterback, he seems like he's like one of the best guys to have on your team. He's always high-fiving all the people that are a part of the staff. He never seemed like he was sore from being sent as a backup, ever.
No, dude. Plus, if you need some crab legs,
just stuff them in your pants and take them out.
He's got them, dude. He's got them.
All right, sounds good. We still got some college football to get into, a few more things with the NFL.
I had a terrible Saturday on the old Jamblin', let me tell you.
Well, we're going to get into that here in a little bit.
I'd rather not talk about it.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. We're going to take 5, and we'll get right back to you guys. Welcome back to Two Dudes Sitting in a Sports Bar podcast, which for the first time in however many weeks it's actually two dudes.
Two dudes
Two dudes just sitting
at a sports bar.
So right before we left, we were talking about a little bit with college football. It was a big college football weekend this week. For me, it was 3 really good games that I watched. One was Clemson, Florida State, then Ohio State, Notre Dame, and also I don't want to call it an implosion of Colorado, but maybe is this the exposure?
I was talking to my brother, my betting partner. Hashtag Retzer season. We're having a pretty good year so far, but we were talking to each other and we're like, "Yo, we took the Colorado money line week 1, and then we were like, we need to fade this team by week 4." And it is happening, especially with no Travis Hunter. That's a different team.
Well, Travis Hunter told Deion Sanders, which he has, apparently he texts him all the time. He says he's playing this week no matter what, no excuses. I don't know how bad the injury is, but it's...
You missed this last week. We now call this getting drunk. We call this getting Travis Hunter. This is how you do liver damage.
Okay. I'll get into that. But, I mean, it was... This week it was probably the game with the most hype, as it has been the last couple of weeks.
I mean, is Travis Hunter worth 50 points? No. The answer is no.
He's not, but at the same time, you see how big one player can change the entire flow of a game.
Oh, for sure.
He, Shadur, how do you pronounce his name?
Shadur.
He had no flow. He had nobody to throw to. Their left tackle, by the way, for Colorado was 6'10", but he could not compete with anybody from
Well,
Oregon.
that entire team, even when they played TCU, they were like, hey, their offensive line's playing way better than they actually, are. And now they're coming back to earth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all. I mean, that's what it is. And I think Colorado, this Colorado team is building for the future.
It is, yeah, and it is their first year.
They are going to be so good in 4 years because there are so many recruits coming to that to go to Deion,
champing at the bit to get to play with Deion. Because, well, let's be honest. Because at the start of the year, even with their current roster, they were predicted at 2.5 wins or something like that, according to Vegas.
Yeah, probably a bad prediction. But
bad prediction.
Yeah.
I wish I can go back and actually put some money on that one. But moving forward, once again, they're coming into this week and surprise, they're 21.5-point underdogs, which they were 21-point underdogs to TCU. They were 21-point underdogs this week, which they were down 21-0 at the first quarter. But
yeah.
You know what? Oregon has been a solid program for the last, 10 to 15 years where they've been consistent.
Well, now you're going against the USC Blue Blood. I mean, this is
But
the Blue Blood of the Pac.
USC
12.
hasn't been consistent, though, in the last 10 years or so.
I'm sorry. You have a reigning Heisman winner.
True, but
You have you seen these USC, the USC freshman wide receiver? Dude looks like Reggie Bush 2.0.
I got to get into this now because I haven't watched too much
His
from
name
them.
is like Zacharias or it's the whitest name I've ever seen. But he's you get him the ball and dude looks like Reggie Bush.
Well, okay, here's my question. Do you think that Colorado will actually be able to score against these guys and make it? You think their defense is better or on par with Oregon?
As someone who bet on that USC Stanford game 2 weeks ago, I took the over 69. Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Thinking that USC would just roll. It was 50-3 at halftime, and USC just rested their starters, and it ended up 50-6.
Wait, what was the over/under on that game?
It was the under.
Oh, that's heartache right there.
Oh yeah, no, dude, it was 53. That's my iPhone alarm is going off.
Sorry, little technical difficulties here.
No, it's just my alarm. It's my wake up at 10:05 alarm.
Which you did a good job. You made it here roughly 9:15. So considering you were up until 4:30, coming up with different.
Hey, when I saw the text, I said I'll be here in 5 minutes. It was pretty close. 10.
15ish. We were still having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I mean, I got in that car. I fucking took off them sleep bunnies and.
Well, either way, getting back to college football, we were just talking about rough over unders. How was your How was your gambling weekend? What?
No, really bad. I don't want to.
Well, you're on
it was
camera.
bad.
You have to talk about it now.
I thought Oklahoma was going to come out a lot. I thought Oklahoma was a lot better offense than it was. They ended up pushing after I lost a lot of them in the first half.
What was your bad beat this weekend? Which one was one that you were sure, was that the lock for you this weekend, or was there something else?
I mean, I had like 10 bad beats this weekend, but I tried to black them out from my memory. No, in the noon games I had the first half Michigan team total
Against what, Rutgers?
Rutgers. Yeah, I thought with Harbaugh back they were going to come back and just beat the brakes off them.
Yeah, for sure.
And they ended up just like Oklahoma, scoring enough points to push. So
what was, because that game ended up what, 31-7?
Yeah, that would make a 24-point spread.
Okay, pretty
God
brutal.
damn it! Why
Pretty
do I
brutal
think
right
of
there.
things this way?
That's why you're so good at predicting those lines like that.
Oh man, wait till March. March is my reinforcement on how good Vegas is. Once we get to these like college basketball lines,
It just comes so closer. You're just gripping yourself, looking at the TV at the very end of it.
it's two dudes shooting free throws.
Two dudes shooting free throws in a podcast.
Two dudes shooting free throws in a podcast.
Well, okay, so
Who we got this week? Yeah, let's.
Well-
Hey, it's in the past. The past in the past.
mainly, and I got to look at my phone because I don't know if this is right, but it says USC Colorado. It says noon for some reason on my phone here, and we're currently
Well,
on Atlantic time, which would make it 10 o'clock.
Also,
in Colorado.
wait, hang on. They did play Nebraska at noon, and they played TCU at noon. So that
Okay.
was the one was at TCU. The other one was in Colorado, I believe.
Okay,
So they will play a noon game in Colorado.
so that one's at 21.5 for USC at the moment. You think Colorado's going to come out and actually put up some points, or do you think they're going to?
I mean,
If Travis Hunter, this is going to be the ultimate experiment here. If Travis Hunter plays, then we're going to find out exactly if this one guy.
I am not betting on Colorado anymore this season.
Okay, fair enough. We'll go with that. So USC a lock for you?
I am not betting. No, I'm kidding. No, dude, that USC team, like, also this was, and I think they played at 11 o'clock or 10:30 our time at least when they played Arizona State, but that's not a good Arizona State team. They should have beaten the brakes off. They've beaten the brakes off every team they've played. And Arizona State stuck with them, then USC pulled away in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
But
so,
I think that USC team is deeper and way better, and I think they beat the shit out of
Just
Colorado.
roll.
They'll
Okay.
do the same thing Oregon did.
well, we were okay. Now, next one, we were talking about this one. We were talking about the Kansas-Texas game, possibly the game of the week for us. Two top 25 teams. Kansas, which has been historically bad over a long period of time. And now all of a sudden, are they legitimate? Are they?
I would never bet on Kansas, so that's a lie. I have bet on Kansas when they played Illinois, but I think Kansas is a great over team.
And Texas right now is rolling. I mean, they come off a win against Alabama a couple weeks ago. They're, third or fourth in the country at the moment. They got an Ohio State transfer quarterback in Cam Ewers.
Haiti got rid of the mullet.
That's what I was saying. That was his whole marketability.
Yeah,
One
that
of
was
the
what he had.
top prospects out of that draft class looked goofy as all hell. I'm like, this kid, especially now with all the NIL deals, which he is getting a lot of money through that. I think he left a lot of money on the table.
I have been watching a lot of Yellowstone, and I feel like he was a good Yellowstone quarterback.
This is true. What, come out of Wyoming like Josh Allen?
Yeah, he had the mustache and the mullet, and just like he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm here to play ball, maybe score some touchdowns."
Well, either way, he's doing a really good job, and I'll tell you why. Because all of a sudden they have the next prophecy of quarterback royalty there with Arch Manning, who everybody wanted him to start, everybody wanted to see him, and Arch Manning is actually one of the other higher paid college athletes with the NIL deals. has not even really. He's probably gotten in there for some random snaps and stuff like that.
He doesn't even need the money, too. That pisses me off.
Well, I mean,
He doesn't need the money. He's a Manning.
But it's good though.
That's like a Buffett taking the money.
It's his own money though. Maybe his uncles and everything said, "Listen, you're going to make your own money. You're going to do it your way."
I guess.
Well, either way, back to Cam. Like he's still outplaying Arch Manning. That's tough when you have that kind of media pressure, especially coming for the head coach.
Oh, for sure.
And you got this guy outperforming him.
Well, your entire fan base is also like, give us Arch.
That's true.
God, that sounds so dumb.
No, but
that can't be their chant. But
Yeah,
I imagine it's something similar.
they probably have some saying that goes behind it. But once you beat somebody like Alabama,
Manning's the man.
But yeah, he is the future. He'll do something while he's there because.
Well, he's also a freshman right now.
Mm-hmm. Which I think they could probably. I don't know how it works with redshirting a backup quarterback, but he
Yeah,
has
of
to get a
course.
certain amount of snaps and. But for him, it probably doesn't matter because he's already.
Before the transfer portal, you used to redshirt kids all the time.
Yeah.
Back in my day, kids would redshirt,
All right, what you got? I gotta look up.
especially quarterbacks.
I gotta look up the spread on this game right now. So you got. Yeah, maybe we should text Mooney. Matt Mooney right now is currently out sick, as well as Milton.
You're welcome, everyone.
Which I got to get into that. Everybody called me a frat boy on the last episode.
I mean, if you wanted to join a frat, he could have just told us. You know?
I think no, he definitely was in a frat. He had to have been.
Oh,
that dude looks like Pledge Master Brother Andrew for sure. That dude carried a paddle with him everywhere.
Hazing everybody.
Yo, for real, spanking ass. I guarantee it.
Drinking
Pledge. Yeah.
Greek life, dude. Greek
He's
life.
got big frat boy energy. He always wears a hat. You know what I'm saying? It's always backwards. Yeah, exactly. It's always backwards. He's always got something to say about what you're drinking.
Hey, wait, should I be in for Halloween?
Which kind of made me a little bit mad. I've never been a part of a fraternity. I heard everything about the backwards cap. That's why I got a haircut. And I came today without the hat on because I'm not a frat boy. I wore my fake Ferrari shirt that has Santorini on it. So, not real Ferrari, just that represents my brand.
Speaking of frat boys, how about a couple fireballs?
I'm going with Fireballs.
Get
Okay,
the,
so
get the flow going.
Texas, Kansas is cinnamon whiskey. If they start paying us, then we'll.
Texas, Kansas. I'm. What's the over? That over is what? 50?
It's 16 at the moment. It's 16 and a half.
60 and a half.
16.
The over?
No. The line. The
Oh,
over
fuck
under.
the line.
The over under is 62 and a half.
62 and a half.
62 and a half points. Puntos.
Oh. I'm not touching that.
Not touching that game.
No, I mean like I want to, but 62 and a half. That's a Pac-12 line, dude.
Yep, and it's in Texas.
No, I like Jaden Daniels, but like no.
Touch that game later in the week.
No, sorry. I'll touch that game 5 minutes before it starts. After a couple cocktails, I go. Yeah, I think they'll hit that over.
All right, what else we got this week?
No, the Duke Notre Dame.
Duke Notre Dame game. Over under on that one.
Is
52.
50. Oh, I knew it was 50 something.
52. I don't always believe the ESPN app sometimes
No,
because it comes up a little bit.
And then I want to say Notre Dame's like a. I think Notre Dame's like a 5-point favorite in that.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Did you watch any of the Notre Dame Ohio State game this past week?
No.
It was actually one of the better low-scoring games that I've watched in a really long time.
I'm not a huge fan of low-scoring college games. That gets past the point.
Here was the thing, though, is it didn't seem like a low-scoring game. Both teams moved the ball a lot, and then they would either. All right, hopping back in. Technical difficulties because we're a brand new podcast, so we don't know how to run any of this equipment. But
What about the friends we made along the way?
I thought we were already friends.
Yeah.
Super friends.
Super friends. Super best friends.
Super best friends. Anyway, before all the audio and everything cut off, the last thing we were talking about with college football was we were kind of talking about Duke and Notre Dame and because that's going to be another premier matchup this week.
It's in primetime at Duke.
Sure, and Duke, as is coming on in the last 10 years, has actually become.
I like that coach.
I like the coach and I like the quarterback. I like the. Did you see some of the quarterback's basketball clips?
No, I have not.
He's a freak athlete, and he's got a little bit of moxie to him. He doesn't really have that Duke humbleness and that we're so used to with a lot of the basketball players.
Well, he's also the only white guy on a Duke team,
Yeah.
and I feel like football-wise, that's the only time that I've ever seen that.
Well, I think it's going to end up working wonders for him. But they do look good.
I like Duke to at least cover there.
Notre Dame, I mean, they played Ohio State tough. They have a quarterback that transferred from Wake Forest, who is a proven.
Sam Hartman should be, outside of Caleb Williams, the best quarterback in the.
And he's got great facial hair.
I haven't seen it.
He does. He looks like he's a 30-year-old man on this team.
He's like is.
Yeah.
I feel like he's pretty close. He's a graduate.
As a matter of fact, right now they have everything right up there that we need. Like, they played Ohio State tough. They should have scored a few more times than they did. But
I like Duke to cover the 5.5 at home.
Duke covering the 5.5 at home. All right, we'll take that. Are they gonna cover it and win, or are they Saturday night primetime game?
You know, I say yes.
Yes. Okay.
Personally, I say yes. I think just because I don't like Notre Dame.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Am-
If history says anything, then you are 100%
I mean, it's-
correct on that. And then we got one more for you. We got Utah, Oregon State. They're playing the primetime slot on Friday night.
I wouldn't call that a primetime slot. That's a hey, get your bets in the day
No,
before.
To me, it is because all eyes are going to be on that game. It's a 9 o'clock game at night, at least where we're at right now.
Well, did you watch that Oregon State Washington? No, you were in Greece.
No, yeah, I was too busy.
We had
eating.
the Pac-2 battle. I don't know if you saw that. That was last week.
The Pac-2
it was
battle.
No, it was Oregon State, Washington State, the only two teams who haven't in the Pac-12 who haven't been claimed by another conference.
So who comes out as the conference champ of this one?
Well, that was last week, and Washington State looked good.
Washington State.
It was Washington State, Oregon State last week.
Okay.
It was the Pac-2, and it was it was a high-scoring affair. Washington State looks great. I would take Washington State overs till the break of dawn, motherfucker.
Fair enough. But coming up on this week, you got Oregon State and Utah.
And Utah's a very defensive team. They still don't have Cam Rising. With that, the quarterback Cam Rising for Utah. The over/under is 44 on that on Friday.
What do you got? You punching the over?
Oregon State's favored 3 at home. Ex-Clemson quarterback DJ Uiagalelei. I like the over there. I mean, 44 is an NFL line.
Beautiful. We'll
You know, like 44 is, it seems like an NFL line.
So punch the over on that one.
I think so. Like, the only reason I won't take a 44 line is when Iowa's playing.
This is true. Winning games 17-10, 10-7, 13-7, all that fun stuff. Because when we watch college football, we want more
Well, no,
high
it's
scores.
just going to happen. Points are just going to happen.
Oh, sounds good.
These
Well,
are 19-year-olds, not
yeah, they have
not
that.
like professional athletes.
They have that
These are
youthful
kids.
exuberance. Yeah, exactly. They're going to get
And
complacent
I
on defense,
love-
and people are going to
And
score high.
I love betting on kids.
I think that's a good way to wrap up college football.
That's college football. We're getting to some NFL stuff.
Moving along, take another
Yeah, we're gonna take a
take a
quick
little
breather.
breather with some more cinnamon whiskey, and we'll get right back to you
Ooh,
with a
yeah.
recap on NFL. And welcome back to Two Dudes Sitting at a Sports Bar podcast.
We are still at the sports bar.
We're still at a sports bar, and it's still in the AM right now. It's still in the AM, which means, do you want something else to drink?
Yeah, maybe a nice fireball,
Maybe a nice cinnamon whiskey.
a nice cinnamon whiskey to get the day going.
Here's to another classic Wednesday. Another
Look at us.
another semi-busted podcast, I guess.
Who would have thunk it?
But in the meantime, let's hop right back into it. Kind of wrapped up on college football. Now we're hopping into another great week of NFL football.
Yeah, let's. You want to chat a little bit about NFL games last week?
Yeah, sure. Let's hop into it. So, right off the bat, the first one that kind of sticks in my mind, Niners doing what Niners do with their Mr. Irrelevant quarterback, Brock Purdy, coming off a UCL surgery.
They're the best team in the NFL, and it's not even close right now.
Most consistent. They're going to keep
If
going.
there was anyone there with them, it was Dallas, and then that game happened. On
How about
Sunday.
them boys? But, I mean, they did take down the Giants last week, and the Giants are just... Yeah, I don't even know what to say about them. They're just kind of flailing right now. Saquon Barkley with an injury. Everybody's talking about the turf being shitty and going forward. So, Niners, obviously the best team right now. We already talked about Miami and the Broncos.
No, so who? Yeah, that's. Did we talk about worst teams? We talked about worst teams, right?
Worst teams? Yeah, we kind of did. We talked about the Bears. We talked about the Cardinals, who are kind of, weirdly enough, Joshua Dobbs can't even buy his own jersey in Arizona right now.
He reminds me of Charlie Villanueva.
Yes, he does.
Gives me
Absolutely.
huge Charlie Villanueva vibes.
Yep, for obvious reasons. But Cardinals, kind of looking okay. Everybody had Atlanta being a really, really shitty team this year, and then all of a sudden they come out with 2 wins. They lost to Detroit this past week, I believe.
They did. Yeah, that was Detroit.
Lost to Detroit.
Yeah.
And Detroit is... I mean,
Detroit's our Thursday night game.
Yeah,
Detroit at Green Bay.
second Thursday
Which-
night game of the week.
Green Bay snuck that one out against the Saints. Did you watch that game at all?
I watched the very end of it. It was...
It was. I mean, I turned it off because the Saints were up 17-0.
Yeah.
And then they hurt Derek Carr, and Jameis came in and couldn't do anything.
pulled it out for him. So I can't really get a read right now on how good Green Bay could be. I don't know what's going on with the Jordan Love experiment.
I don't think they're good.
No.
I think they are what is the most average you can like? They're a 5. They're a 5 out of 10 for me.
They're a 5 out of 10, but they're playing in a division right now where the Vikings should be good. And
They haven't won a
0
game.
Yeah, they're 0-3, even though Kirk Cousins right now is leading the league in passing yards.
Well, when you're giving up that many points, you got to.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, right now in the division, that division in specifically, I would have to take the Lions just because I feel like they're the most cohesive over the last 3 years as far as what they've kept, how they're growing. But they are only 1.5 point favorites, and the game is in
On the
Green
road.
Bay.
It's in
It's in Green Bay.
Well, they're favorites on the road.
Yeah, but everybody knows that every home team gets a 3-point advantage no matter what. They
Right.
automatically give that with the
So
spread.
they're basically saying Detroit's a 4.5 point favorite.
No. It's in Green Bay.
It's
so,
in Green Bay.
So to me, they're 1.5 point dogs.
No, Detroit's a 1.5 point favorite.
That's what I'm saying. So when the home team always gets like a 3-point favoritism as far as when it
Yeah,
comes to the spread.
Detroit is right now a 1.5 point favorite.
Yep. So what I'm saying is, realistically, if they're playing on a neutral field, I'm looking at Green Bay being a 1.5 point favorite.
No, because it's in Green Bay.
Exactly.
So
And Detroit's a 1.5 point favorite. So
at Green Bay.
give 3 points to them, and you have on a neutral site 1.5 points to Green Bay.
No, it would be a 4.5 point favorite to Detroit.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Detroit at Green Bay,
Yeah, I know.
1.5.
Okay, I see what you're getting at. Sorry. Way too many cinnamon whiskey shots.
Hey, life's hard sometimes.
So yes, definitely take Detroit with that one.
I like Detroit in like 1.5. What is 1.5? You know, like anything under 3, fuck it.
Yeah, and it's also one of those games where they tell you it's like the last person with the ball.
It's Thursday too. It's
Yeah,
Thursday.
and also I think Detroit's too solid. I think that they've been playing together for
And
now
I
under
think-
the
I think-
Dan Campbell regime.
I think Aaron Jones is still out.
Probably because I haven't really heard much from him. So, plus I'm going to be honest, Green Bay fans kind of annoy me.
Well, they annoy everyone.
They do. Green Bay fans are a little bit annoying to me. And Detroit being such a cousin city of Cleveland, I'm pulling for them. So let's go Detroit on that one.
Motor City, love it.
Yep, I'll pull it on
Honolulu
that
Blue, baby.
And now we have our London game.
That face London game, governor.
Well, you want to know the funny part about this game is going to be broadcasted on Nickelodeon, but it's going to be broadcasted like Toy Story.
Is this the Toy Story game?
This is supposed to be the Toy Story game. Atlanta versus Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
What do they do when somebody starts hip thrusting in the end zone, though, for that? Do they just slime them in?
The toys have joints?
I think they have the entire time. They move like they have joints.
If anything, I feel like the toys with the joints will be better, like more kid friendly than like.
What happens when an adult walks in the room? Then do they just fall down? Do they all have to play like nothing is?
Well,
do they have to be toys once an adult walks in the
well,
room?
luckily, no adults will be watching this game because it's at 9:30 on a Sunday.
I might tune into it. I'm curious. I have to see that
No,
because
this is my hangover game of the week.
well, you do know at the current bar that we're at, the upstairs bar, we have every single channel. We have like 30 Nickelodeons. We might have to tune this game in. I have to see what's going on when it's an animated game. They did this during the Super Bowl. Do you remember when they did the Super Bowl with this? Somebody would score a touchdown.
I
There'd
remember
be green slime everywhere.
The slime that was the slime. That was Nickelodeon. This is Disney.
Oh, good point.
This is the Disney Toy Story game.
And Disney is very family oriented.
And they have a lot of fucking money.
True. Well, either way, who do you have animated wise? Jacksonville, Atlanta. Because I still don't know a whole lot about Atlanta. I just know that they've won 2 games. Obviously lost to Detroit last week. In Jacksonville, what the hell is going on with them?
Well, they just got the shit beat out of them by the Houston Texans, who seem like a really bad team. But C.J. Stroud's throwing the ball around. I mean, I want to say he's got to be top 5 passing right now in the passing yards.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of a nice situation for him to come into if he's getting the right protection. He could just sling it. He's probably feeling really fluid and smooth right now.
And it's all you got first year or second year and rookie receivers. Tank Dell had a huge week. Nico Collins has been his dude. You got Robert Woods, the veteran. I mean, if he can get time, I think he can throw it around. If he can sling the ball, like what he did at Ohio State. That was never the knock on him, was that he couldn't throw the ball around.
He just slung it around.
It's can he
correlate his game into the NFL?
Well, that's all it is. Can you do that in 3 seconds instead of 4 seconds?
Yep. Also in a division where it's all up for grabs. So, but Jacksonville, this was supposed to be their year. They were supposed to be the big dogs of that division, and now
that division's. What, the Colts are 2-1, everyone else is 1-2, right?
Yeah, but I mean, also let's be honest. Coming into this week, Jacksonville has played in London every single year for the last.
It's a home game for them.
This is a home game.
This is a home game in
and
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's -3, so I got Jacksonville.
I like Jacksonville
They're
as well.
at -3. I got Jacksonville.
I might, if I was betting on that game, I might buy it down to 2.5.
Okay, I got Jacksonville all the way on this game. They're pissed off. They came off a awful loss, and they're playing at home. So Jacksonville punched that one for sure.
Next game, imagine scoring 70 points.
In the NFL.
In the NFL, 70 points. And then you're an underdog the next week. Miami at Buffalo. Buffalo's 2-point favorites.
And it's not snowing yet in Buffalo. So
I think this is Vegas going. This is last year's Buffalo still. Mm-hmm. Buffalo hasn't looked great. I mean, they obviously look good against they picked off Sam Howell 4 times.
Against the Commanders, which
but even
didn't expect them to start 2-0, but
even the first half of that Vegas game, they didn't look good. They ended up just it looked like they they just would end up getting points. I don't think this is just a 500-yard offense. You know what I mean?
Are we starting to figure out whether or not week 1, 2, and 3 were falsehoods? Is this now that we're lacking another game in preseason? is week 4 now coming into this week. While
All I'm saying is that Miami seems like the much better team
they are, which is
than Buffalo, and Buffalo won week 2 and 3 by 30+ points, but it didn't they weren't like driving the ball down the field and scoring like a lot of points. They were getting turnovers and scoring on short fields a lot.
and now also they're
So what happens when you can't get those turnovers?
then you got to play football.
You got to
Then
play
you gotta
football.
You got to play real football. You got to
And
be
you know-
tactical. You got to.
You know, the one game Buffalo lost against the Jets, they made a lot of turnovers.
Yes, they did, and it was.
And you know what Miami's good at? Capitalizing off turnovers, as it was shown during the Broncos game.
And also with that Buffalo Jets game, I think even Buffalo was so shook from the Aaron Rodgers injury. They didn't know what to do. Can you imagine game planning all week, and then all of a sudden the number 1 quarterback that you were going after all of a sudden gets dropped, and now it's like, here comes Zach Wilson.
Well, that's your defense. I mean, your offense should still be able to put up
It's true, but
14 fucking points.
I'm sure it can, yeah, that's actually a good point. But is this the week that we find out exactly what Buffalo's made?
I think is Buffalo on top of the division, or is it Miami?
It's a good point.
It's who is the favorite to win the AFC East right now.
Yep.
This is
and this game was
if Miami can go into Buffalo and put the wood to them, that's.
I kind of wish that it was flipped because I don't know when they play them at the for the second game of the season. I kind of wish that Miami would be playing Buffalo in cold weather. Cause
That's the other thing, is Miami has had a great schedule so far. They played at New England in week 2 and at Buffalo in week 4. That's a hot weather team. That's a hot weather offense.
Yeah. They
And your two divisional rivals, you're playing them in September.
It's kind of like the perfect situation for that.
Perfect situation for Miami to win the AFC.
But now we're actually gonna find it out. Now,
We're gonna find it
I don't
out
know
if they can
have
do
any
it.
Cold weather games.
I like Miami here. I think it's
I
going to
do
be a
too.
bit of a shootout, but I want to say like 31-27 Miami.
Yep. Not to mention, I think Miami is feeling themselves right now. Buffalo, they beat the Commanders, so they're probably just like, yeah, okay, we did well, but
Yeah, we played against Sam Howell. Here's Tua. Quick release.
just don't let them get concussed.
That's been Tua's game this whole season. Is like get the ball out quickly so they can't hit me. And if they do hit me, it's 15 yards.
Just perfect. Just give it to Tyreek. Let him run upfield.
Next game we got the battle of who could care less. Denver at Chicago.
And Denver minus 3.5.
Denver on the road after losing by 50 is a 3-point road. That's how bad Justin Fields is. That's how bad that Justin Fields Bears are. I just don't see who the Bears are as a team, and I don't think.
Neither do I.
And they traded away the number 1 pick.
They have no future. They can't tank.
But they had the number 1 pick, and they got rid of it.
They can't tank.
And they traded it for DJ Moore.
Boy, I cannot care less about this game.
Yeah.
I want to watch it out of comedy, and I'm hoping because
I hope a lot of people score a lot of fantasy points in that game.
And
but like, there's probably 3 people on that team who might have fantasy relevance.
I feel like I'm being hypocritical here, just because I remember way back in the day when it was the 0-16 Lions playing against the shitty ass Browns, and it ended up being one of the best games ever. Matthew Stafford pops his shoulder out. I don't know if you remember that game.
Yeah, great game.
The Lions ended up winning that game, but it was a fantastic game to watch. But
that was the one where they had like the 4th down or the 3rd down spike and then converted it to Calvin Johnson in the end zone.
So
I was in college. I remember that. I was there.
But I can't care about this game.
No, fuck that game.
Denver,
no one
Chicago.
gives a shit.
Anyway,
Who gives a shit out of that game?
Well, who are you taking, Denver or Chicago?
Can I bet on a 0-0 tie?
I'm taking Denver. I think maybe Russell Wilson will find something in himself, be like, wow, maybe I should.
You know
earn
what?
the contract that I have.
I'm going to go opposite here. I think Justin Fields has 150 rushing yards,
And it's going to be a 9-6 game.
and they win 12-3.
A baseball score on a football field. All right, I'm cool with that.
Ravens at Browns.
All right, it'll be my first chance to see Lamar Jackson play. What is going to? I mean, I know Jerome Ford right now has established himself as the number one running back in Cleveland.
Kind of, but they
Just
didn't.
because he's been there.
They didn't really run the ball against Tennessee.
Well, they didn't need to. They honestly did not need to do anything against.
No,
them.
they just didn't.
And I mean,
I don't know if we have that running offense. They've been using Elijah Moore a lot. If I was what I've been doing for the past 2 or 3 weeks is betting on Elijah Moore receptions, and it's been over like 3.
what have they been hitting him on? Has it been like a lot of like short?
Yes,
Okay, which is fine.
he's had like 9 or 10 receptions a game, but only getting like 20 yards a game. But he's getting.
Do they come? Are they timely? Are they timely plays? Because, like I said, I've been watching the Browns, but I haven't been watching the Browns.
What I'm saying is they're trying to get him the ball. If you can bet Elijah Moore receptions over 3 to 4, it's a great bet.
Are they just waiting for him to break one loose?
No, they're just getting like they use him as a running back.
Okay.
But like they just throw. I'm talking in a betting.
The betting
standpoint.
mind.
Yeah, dude. Like there's a bet. You can bet on receptions per player.
I know, but this game also has your heart too, because it's the Browns.
Yeah.
What does your heart tell you?
I think our defense has looked so good against Tennessee. I hope they can bottle up Lamar.
I think, like I said, I haven't heard much about what he's been doing. Anyway, cheers.
Well,
Cinnamon whiskey.
I mean, Baltimore just lost to Indianapolis. Tucker just
Yeah, I was going to say their best player isn't what he used to be, Justin Tucker.
Tucker went short on a 61-yard field goal. Like a game-winning 61-yard field goal. I've never seen that happen
All right,
before.
so give me 2 predictions on this game. What does your brain tell you? No, give me 3 of them. What does your brain tell you? What does your gambling brain tell you? And what does your heart tell you?
My gambling brain tells me over Elijah Moore receptions.
How about on the actual game line here?
You said 3 predictions. That was my first one.
No, okay, fair enough.
This is at Cleveland. I think
It is.
it's at Cleveland. It's 2.5.
Yep.
I think Cleveland wins that game.
This is your regular mind. This isn't your gambling mind. This is
No, this is my regular. I mean, I don't think the Baltimore defense is the scoop and score kind of defense, which is the only reason we lost to Pittsburgh.
And they're not the team that they had in 2000 or 2012 or.
I like our receivers against, say, like rookie wide receivers.
I agree with you on that one.
Who is it? Gus Edwards? Is Gus Edwards at running back?
Is he still there?
It is. He is. It's whether we can bottle up Lamar.
Yep. Because he's
And our
honestly-
defense has been creating a fucking
and to
pocket.
and to tell you the truth, over the years past, that's been the one. What was it? It was a Monday night or Sunday night or Thursday night game in Cleveland. High scoring game. It was when Lamar had to go take a shit game.
yeah.
The only reason we lost that game is because we couldn't bottle him up. Scrambled loose, threw a long pass.
I think I trust Jim Schwartz.
So do I.
In
I like
that
Jim,
game.
I like Jim Schwartz.
I
as a
think Jim
defensive
Schwartz
coordinator, head coach,
has
not so
has
much,
that
but
game in the.
perfect. And now, how about your heart?
No, we're gonna lose. That's Browns fans, baby.
Too many
We
many
gonna-
broken hearts
We're
there.
gonna lose that game.
All right,
But am I betting on us? Yes.
perfect. We'll go with that one.
Cincy at Tennessee.
I think this is Joe Burrow's coming out party.
He's
here.
got to have one eventually,
Especially
right?
after seeing what the Browns did to Tennessee, I think this is absolutely Joe Burrow's coming out party. Jamar Chase, big game. I don't
100
really have anything else to say about
100% agree.
it. 100% stamping Cincinnati. I'm going to call that my guarantee of the week.
Love it.
That'll be mine, just because they have to. Like now, it's just coming down to the nitty gritty. Week 4, we're finding out exactly who everybody is.
Rams at Indianapolis. Indianapolis -1 at home.
Indianapolis -1 at home. Is what's their new quarterback's name? Richardson. Is he healthy?
No, he. As far as I know, he's not playing. It's Wednesday, so the Thursday injury reports that come out. We are still looking at a Gardner Minshew mustache mania.
I can't bet against Gardner Minshew. I can't.
I'm gonna go Rams all day on this.
Yep. So
I'm gonna go Rams all day on this.
can I make a bet right now?
With me, yeah.
Sure. If I'm trying to think which way I want to go with this. If Minshew loses, I will go with the Minshew mustache.
I will go mustache if they win.
Okay. Perfect.
Mustache bet.
Deal.
Love
Somebody will have a Minshew mustache next week. All right, moving along. Tampa Bay, New Orleans.
And New Orleans favored by 3. I don't know if we know if Derek Carr is going to play yet. So that's the line right now.
Either way, I feel like I like New Orleans. Either way, I like
Nah,
Derek Carr,
dude.
and I like the Florida
But
State alum coming.
we don't
off
know
this.
if Derek Carr is playing.
I know, but Crabman. What if Crabman's playing?
Nah, dude. Baker Mayfield owns 1 o'clock games.
Shit, you got a good point there. I'm not going to make a bet on that game, but I'm going to side with New Orleans. But you're right.
Hey,
Baker Mayfield owns 1
Hey,
o'clock
how
games.
about this? How about this? I will take Tampa. You take New Orleans. Loser has to make a Progressive insurance commercial for the upstairs bar.
Deal. We got that? We got that on camera?
That's a bet.
Producer? We can call him and see what he wants. As long as it's not another facial hair bet. Like, I only have so much facial hair, so if I lose, I gotta...
Washington at Philly.
Philly, stamp it.
Philly minus
Minus
8. I think Philly wins this by 20.
I think the Commanders peaked already, and I think Philadelphia is...
I don't think they had it. I don't think they ever were there. I think they played 2
However,
mediocre teams and then and eked one out.
Washington was one of the teams last year that kind of took it to Philly when they were getting in their groove. Washington didn't even eke the game out. They beat the shit out of them last year when Philadelphia was feeling themselves. It was later in the season, and I only know this because I watched the Jason Kelce documentary.
It's week 4. I think Philly beats the shit out of them.
Okay, I'll take that. I'm not even going to take
I
a
think
bet on that.
I
I'm
think
just
we're
saying,
we're
I got
in
Philadelphia plus or minus 21.
Yeah,
I think it's a 3-touchdown game.
I agree.
Philadelphia and
I actually might tease that to like a 3-score game.
yep, I'm saying 21. I know that like the exactness of it. I'll say 20 and a half.
Minnesota at Carolina.
Spread on that one.
Minnesota's 3.5 point favorites at Carolina.
And it's in Carolina.
I don't think either of these teams have won a game.
Has Bryce Young had a good game yet?
Bryce Anderson, Stroud.
Whatever. Yeah, he doesn't have a name yet because CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud has a name.
He is now the name of that first of that draft.
I think
Minnesota has to put up or shut up this week. I'm taking Minnesota by 2 scores.
Well, Andy Dalton played last week
The Red Rocket.
for Carolina.
I mean, he is weathered. He did take a team to the playoffs however many years in a row. And a very tough AFC
Honestly,
North.
if Andy Dalton's playing, I like Carolina. If it's Bryce Young, I like Minnesota.
All right. I was going to make a bet like loser of this game dyes their hair red, but I'm not going to do that.
I like if they're Andy Dalton threw 56 passes last game for Carolina.
Well, he asked. What's he going to do? Run?
I'm just saying you.
Also, who's Carolina's running back?
Miles Sanders.
He was good back in the day.
He was good last year.
Yeah.
He had 1,200 rushing yards last year.
I'm taking Minnesota 2 scores because now they realize how vulnerable that division is.
Minnesota 2 scores.
By
Bet?
10. I'll take.
I'll bet. Hey, how about
9.5?
this? How about this?
Is 9.5 fair?
You give me 2 scores. I want the Carolina money line. That's a fair bet. We're splitting the.
All right. And luckily,
Splitting the
we don't have
spread.
to write it down because it's all on camera. Yeah, no, I like that one. So I'm saying 9.5, which is 2 scores, correct?
Yeah.
9.5. Okay.
Loser has to do a Hulkamania mustache.
Well, I'm already doing a hair bet.
Yeah, now we're doing a mustache bet. Hulkamania.
Sure, why not?
Fuck yeah.
Let's go. All right, what do we got?
Hey, if it's oh shit, yeah, it's either got to be one or the other.
We'll work it out once it happens because there's a chance that somebody. Well, actually, the Gardner Minshew hairstyle is the same thing as Hulkamania, kind of.
Hey, dude.
So somebody may end up with a Gardner Minshew and a Hulkamania mustache.
And
Pray to God.
I feel like that guy would get a lot of pussy. Pittsburgh at Houston. Love C.J. Stroud last week. He looked fantastic.
So this is CJ versus TJ?
It is C.J. versus T.J.
Literally what the game's going to be. CJ versus TJ.
I think the issue that he didn't have against Jacksonville is that Pittsburgh fucking defensive line is going to bring the fucking heat. Mm-hmm. And he had time against Jacksonville. I don't think he's going to have time against Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh is doing exactly what they do. Even when they have mediocre players on the field, they know how to block and tackle. They know how to penetrate. They just had. I can't bet against Mike Tomlin as much as I hate it because it's such a
I think the Pittsburgh offense scores 10 points and they win that game.
Yep, I absolutely agree with you. Mike Tomlin is so good at what he does, and it pains me to say it. Pittsburgh, obviously, not necessarily like a big spread in the game, but I think Pittsburgh takes that game down. Low-scoring game.
They scored 2 defensive touchdowns. They never made it to the red zone against us,
which is embarrassing. Kenny Pickett thinks he's the shit. He's not, but
time-wise.
Perfect.
Well, we're gonna take a little break right now and go into the afternoon games. Talk a little baseball after this.
And we're back to the Two Dudes Sitting in a Sports Bar podcast.
Couple of dudes.
Where are we sitting at?
The upstairs bar.
The upstairs bar. How many TVs they got here? Like 7 of them?
I see 4 right now upstairs. They got another 3 downstairs.
4 up here, 3 downstairs.
I know. I'm off Sunday. I know what I'm going to be doing. I know where I'll be at 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Because you can watch any NFL game here that you can
And
possibly
I'm
watch.
trying to win this trip to Miami.
I did see that. Got to fill that one out. I
I'm
kind of filled out the little thing for it, but yes, you can win a trip to Miami. That's all I know about the aspects of that. Come in, buy some food, fill out a form, win a trip to Miami.
Wait, you can go to Miami by drinking O-bombs?
Sure.
Dude,
So.
these are a few of my favorite things.
And they also have bomb buddies here during happy hour for $8. So find yourself a buddy, come here and start drinking some bombs
shit.
and win a trip to Miami.
That's a
the way to do it.
dangerous combination.
All right, so we knocked out all the afternoon games.
The early games, the 1 o'clock games.
Yeah, so now we're coming back to one really big one right now, which unfortunately we're missing Mooney and Milton, and it's so unfortunate because it's Dallas versus New England.
My lock of the day is that a meteor falls on Jerry World, and that both teams die in a horrible meteor collision.
And the rest of the NFL just celebrates.
Yeah, everyone gets really happy.
So, bomb buddy, here you go.
Hey, cheers.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest about this one. I had no idea that New England was playing Dallas until we got here, and I really don't like either of the fan bases.
Well, the Will Greer thing did bring up a very Belichickian thing.
Please explain it to us all. I know this all, but hand signals, stolen signals.
Yeah, Dallas can't use that anymore.
No deflated balls.
I mean, that's like New England signing an ex-Dallas quarterback is like the most Belichick thing. Like the week before a game is the most Belichick thing.
And also considering that the Cowboys gave that last preseason game to Will Greer just to basically get a job interview, and now all of a sudden they have to play them, and we're at this point now where we're stealing hand signals.
I mean, like, Dallas is favored by 7 at home.
Yeah, I'm sure Mooney would have something to say about this.
Hang on, let me do this. now New England Mac Jones gonna win the game.
Ezekiel Elliott. Something like that.
And so we're gonna put in their lock of the days as New England money line and a Dallas New England money line for Mooney and a Dallas by 35 for Milton.
What are they both at right now? The money line and the spread.
It's a -7.
-7. All
So
right.
probably like a
Like a
230
Who do
money
you want?
line.
Do you want New England or do you want Dallas?
I want a meteor to hit the stadium and destroy both teams.
Not telling you to gamble with your heart right now. What does your head tell you? What does your gambling mind tell you? Not because I don't think that there's a line on a meteor hitting that.
That my heart and my head both tell me that a meteor hits Jerry World.
All right. Well, me personally, coming from a non-biased point of view, even though I don't like both teams, I'm taking Dallas. As far as
-7? Taking Dallas -7? I think New England keeps it close.
I take Dallas by a field goal.
Yeah, so we're both in the same. Dallas wins but doesn't cover.
Dallas wins 3-0.
Dallas. So we're both saying Dallas wins but doesn't cover the
Dallas
7.
wins 3-0. I just hope it's an unenjoyable game.
No.
I
Well, the only people who will enjoy that game are whoever
the
Patriots or Cowboys fans that wins.
that used to be on this podcast.
But I don't think it's a blowout. I think Belichick
Well,
Belichick doesn't get blown out, dude.
That's because he knows their plays. He knows every single hand signal, and he knows what they're going to change it to. So keeps it close. It's going to be a lot like the New England game last week, where it's kind of in the teens or the tens. Realistically, yeah, I'll take Dallas 20-17 in this game.
I was going to say 21-17 Dallas.
Okay, we'll go with that one. I'm not going to put a bet on it. I'm not going to do anything
No.
crazy.
All
With
right,
that.
we've done enough. We've done enough
Exactly.
dumb bets.
We've done enough to like mess up our facial hair and everything with that. So I'm done with any kind of facial hair bet this week.
Next game, Arizona at San Francisco.
San Francisco by 1 million.
San Francisco is a 14-point favorite.
San Francisco by 1 million. Not even worried about that one.
I don't know.
Cardinals might get a field goal.
Hey,
But
Arizona shocked the world last week, man.
yeah, but who was pass rushing? Would they have
Micah Parsons,
Yeah,
the
so-
best player in the NFL, the
So-
best defensive
so
player in
they
the
had to focus
NFL.
on- they had to focus on one guy that game. Big deal.
Yeah, so now you got Bosa.
Yeah. Bosa, who is now the highest paid defensive player ever.
Just because Micah Parsons hasn't gotten a contract yet.
I got the 49ers. I'll just go 49-0.
I like that. I'm not sold on the Cardinals. So
no.
while you were gone, we did have a fun game. Other than Hollywood Brown, name a Cardinals receiver.
Pass.
Fair.
I can't. I literally can't. I could not even tell you. I don't know who plays for them. I don't even know what they have. What their running back is.
James Conner.
James Conner, the Terminator. No. The Terminator was the guy that played for the Jets. This guy is the guy that played
That
for
is-
Pittsburgh, went to Pitt.
Hey, he terminated cancer though.
That is true. He did a good job with that too.
No, hey,
And he's made a great career out of it.
He beat cancer. He's the RB1 in an NFL offense at 30 years old.
So he actually defied the odds without cancer. So
You
the props on him.
can't hate on James Conner.
outside of that, and Buda Baker's hurt, so he doesn't even count as somebody in the secondary. Couldn't name you one person for the Cardinals, and I don't even know if Cardinals
No
fans
Rondale Moore.
couldn't have named you that one. I'm not going to hate on the Cardinals. I can't do that. I already hated enough on Dallas.
That's fair.
And
You're
New
right.
England.
You're right.
I should be hating on Pittsburgh.
Our last afternoon game, the Chiefs at the Jets. Trevor Siemian signing for the Jets. I think he went practice squad. They didn't even put him on the active roster.
Well, he's another one of those guys that's just a lifetime backup.
Well, they're looking for lifetime backups for the Jets
Also
now.
defied the odds.
Did you see
Matt
Joe?
Ryan said no.
Did you see Joe Namath just put Zach Wilson on blast?
They were giving Zach Wilson so much.
Aaron Rodgers fucking put Zach Wilson on blast.
I know. If you once again, I hate to bring up Hard Knocks again, but they brought up Zach Wilson so much and how much progress he's made and how he's been humbled and everything. He took a step back because he was just like, well, shit, if I just do my job right now, I'll get a job somewhere else.
I'll carry a clipboard.
Exactly.
I'll be a clipboard guy.
And then all of a sudden,
let me Charlie Whitehurst this thing.
and he showed up in that game like when you're in college and you don't study for an exam that you didn't know was coming and you go, ah, shit.
I actually did very well in college for exams I didn't study for, by the way. I should have went to BYU.
But yeah, Zach Wilson.
I mean, I think Kansas City bears that game.
Where's that game at?
It's in New York.
It's in New York. Are we going to see another Taylor Swift sighting?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, if she's not there, I'm going to say that Kelsey gets a couple of touchdowns and he benches himself. If she is there, I'm going to go with one blowout touchdown. I think he's too busy looking up in the owner's box and seeing her up there with his mom.
I will say this.
It's too early in the season for it to be a distraction.
So I know you were probably still in Greece at the point, but Sunday the America's game of the week was the Chiefs Bears.
That was the Sunday.
That was the Sunday 4:15 game.
Why?
At halftime, they switched the feed to watch the Cowboys lose.
Ooh, actually, good move.
Because the Chiefs were up like 41-3 on the Bears.
Yeah, it was pretty not great. And like I said, I didn't even watch the game. I just watched how brutal that was. So,
right.
Is this going to be another great? And that's a night game. Is that another?
No,
Sunday night game?
No, the Sunday night game. For some reason, they love giving the Giants these primetime games.
Daniel Jones needs the exposure, man.
We have the Seahawks at the Giants Monday night. Giants favored by 1.
Wait, is that the Sunday or Monday night game? What?
Oh, shit!
Is that Monday? Is that what you got? Is that Monday?
I thought it. What is? No, I'm sorry. The KC New York Jets game is the Sunday night game.
Oh man. So that's
I
two,
believe.
that's
Let
two
me
really bad
double check
primetime
here.
games this week. That's two. Like, I'll watch the start of the Kansas City game just because I kind of want to see if the Jets are going to get pissed off and come out, and maybe if Simeon comes into the game over Zach Wilson.
I will tell you this: what a great Monday night to go to trivia here at the upstairs bar, because there ain't a fucking ball game to watch.
No, I'm not going to watch that game. I'll do that once I'm starting to get into baseball again, but we'll get that here in a second. Seattle, New York Giants.
Let me double check on this.
How's
Fuck.
Geno Smith doing this year?
They're 2-1. They beat the
did beat the
Lions. They
Lions.
put up 37 on the Lions. Then they put up 37 on the Panthers.
But yet they're 1-point favorites against the Giants. Or the Giants are 1-point favorites at
The
home.
Giants are 1-point favorites. No Saquon. Well, sorry, Saquon's day to day.
Yeah, because he's got an ankle injury. He didn't
But-
tear anything.
But like he's not playing, but they won't put him on IR and won't designate him as out.
I'm sorry. I don't think I can care about that game. I
Even
just
with
can't.
Saquon, like I just like Seattle in that game.
And I'll be here for trivia. I'll watch it out of the corner
You
of
want
my eye. But
to be trivia teammates?
yes, what are we going to
Me
call
and you.
ourselves? Like we said earlier, two Browns fans in a sports bar podcast.
What's your favorite go-to trivia team name? I'm a big fan of the
I don't get that one.
Well, tempura is a light battering.
We are going to have to edit that out. That's definitely getting edited out.
You think so?
Recut. I'm going to cut this, by the way. What is
Cut
your
it.
other favorite name for...
You think so?
Yes, without a doubt. That is not going on the podcast.
No, it's a tempura joke, not a women's shelter
but
joke.
It came off bad. Yes, moving forward.
So we're gonna be trivia teammates on Monday. You got a good trivia team name?
I've never been good at that. It always kind of revolves around the place that I work at, and the upstairs bar and grill. I don't have anything good to come off of that. I'm not that riffy when it comes to names. I could come back at you with something, but I can't really give you a good team name.
No,
Upstairs bar and grill, downstairs bar and grill.
I'm usually the same way.
Bartenders United, lights out because all the power's been out the last few weeks.
So for probably about 20 years, my trivia team name was we were the Furline Keyhole. My father was a patent attorney, and I used to play trivia with him. And it was a invention that he patented, or that he wrote the patent for, where it was you would cover a keyhole with fur so you could find it in the dark.
Is this patented?
Oh, it's patented.
Okay, good. See if he
It's-
wants to.
so,
Does he want to endorse us? Does he want to
4
advertise?
years I have been the Furline
I just went all
Keyhole.
over Greece for a week, eating and drinking, trying to find endorsements, and now you just came to me with this when I came back.
Well, no, he wrote the patent for it. My dad was a patent attorney. He didn't.
We've been dying for endorsements, and now he just tells us this now.
He doesn't own the patent for it. He just did the patent for it.
But he knows the people that own it now. We would love some sort of an endorsement.
This was
like
in the 80s, man.
But still, we just back when football was football, and now we're talking about football again, and we need endorsements, especially with something that's a fucking
his
hole with a hair on it.
His other favorite patent that he told me about. It was a method to exercise your cat with a laser pointer.
Please go on. Please explain.
No, that's it. You fucking point a laser pointer at a wall so a cat chases it. And he's like, well, I'll take your money and write the patent for it, but how the fuck do you enforce that?
Is this where the podcast goes off the rails? Is this the time of the day where it goes off the rails?
We're talking cat laser pointer exercise.
I thought we were talking football. Now we're talking about holes with
Well,
hair on it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about the Seahawks at the Giants, buddy. I'd rather talk about cats and laser pointers.
That's true. Which is what that game is essentially going to be. It's like, where's the ball? And one of them is going to go after it. Seahawks or Giants.
But big shout out to Aaron Retzer, longtime listener.
Hey, I met your dad once. Great share.
Yes. Not a sponsor.
Not yet.
Yet.
Well, I mean,
He does text me and tell me how good of a job I do, though.
Yeah, he posted something on Facebook.
It's nice to have. He does share. He shares our podcast on the face page.
Speaking of which, you can.
Just a picture, but not the link.
No, he
picture,
does
link,
that. It's in the
all that
comments.
Stuff. But we forgot to tell everybody, if you want to watch this podcast, it's going to be on the Windmill YouTube channel. We'll post it on all the social media outlets. Two dudes at a sports bar.
Two
podcast.
suits in a dude.
It's going to be on Instagram on both versions of it, but we're going to put the link into it, and it's going to be on the Windmill YouTube channel, or the Windmill Bar YouTube channel, and we'll post the link on there.
Real quick, getting into baseball.
Baseball, Phillies clinched.
Phillies clinched.
Orioles are dominant.
Orioles magic numbers 2. On Brooks Robinson died. Rest in peace. That was my
Yep.
my
One
mother's
of the best
favorite
third
player.
basemans of all time.
My mother's favorite player of all time.
What was he? 15 Gold Gloves.
16 straight.
Amazing. Made one of the best plays from third base that you'll ever see.
And
Orioles looking good.
Orioles have this. I mean, Atlanta's a
Atlanta's dominant,
powerhouse.
and they've won a World Series in the last couple of years. So
Well,
they are,
what's crazy is Atlanta has this team that is just crushing,
yeah, Acuna is just like a
and they
Hall of Famer already.
I think they have 5. Out of the top 10 NL home run leaders, they have 5,
yeah, they're just
and they have 101 wins. The Orioles have 98 wins, with a bunch of dudes you never fucking heard of.
playing Moneyball.
We do have Jose ready to get back to this.
Oh,
Jose,
all right,
hey,
we got a Cowboys
coming
fan
in
up
for a
here.
little Cowboys action.
Let me get this up for him. Jose coming from across the street.
For all this long
Mic him up. Mic him up.
Well, you did just miss it. We did just go over
Yeah, we
our
can.
a little breakdown of New England versus Dallas this upcoming week over in Jerry's world.
So who do you like? Who do you like? Dallas -7 right now.
Dallas -7. I still pick my Cowboys on this one.
Still got your Cowboys?
Yes, I will take my Cowboys.
What's making you think that your Cowboys are going to be so hot after this this performance against the Cardinals? who
Yeah,
have a
you're
bunch
not
of
playing the
nobodies?
Cardinals this week. You've got an actual football team.
Yeah, with an actual coach.
Well, we do actually have a defense, and I can't really say so
Where
much.
were
about
they?
No, I
it.
didn't. I didn't watch. I watched the
They-
game last week. It didn't seem like you did.
They took the day off. They took the day off, but I feel if we do get Tyron Smith back, that gives Dak a little bit more time in the pocket. The left side was coming on hard all game. If you notice, that left tackle was just letting them go through.
But you don't think like Matt Judon's gonna come in on that left side? You don't think Belichick's fucking playing for that? That's what he does.
Well, I know that's what he does, but he hasn't done it since Brady left. So it's like, sure, yes, I would like to
This
sponsor
round of
shot.
shots sponsored
I mean,
by
they've-
Jose.
They've played all the they played the Eagles close.
Yes, still lost.
They played the Dolphins close.
Still lost.
We're not talking about losses. We're talking about does Dallas win by 7?
Oh, I think Dallas wins by 13. But yes,
Dallas by 13. Do you have a score prediction on that?
I would say 35-20.
Now we've been taking
Now that's-
facial
that
hair.
math doesn't really work out right there.
It's up by 15. I know. I get that.
We've been
But
taking hair bets today. you want to put a hair bet on that?
What's the hair bet?
I think you'd have a pretty good mullet.
Oh no, I can't cut the hair. Can't cut the hair, but I do feel like our defense will be back. I think Dan Quinn's going to do a great job rebounding on where that was the biggest thing I thought is that I think Arizona came in with the mindset that they lost 2 very close games that they should have won going into that game.
Also, let me ask you this: do you think that Dallas, 2 days ago, played with the mindset it's like, oh, we're playing the Cardinals? Do you think we weren't seeing the real version of the Dallas Cowboys? Do you think they were just playing down to what the Cardinals?
I feel
are?
DeMarcus Ware put it best when he said that you can't feel like you're on top of the world at week 3, and I think that's where they felt.
And ultimately, I was telling this to Casey. I think that this loss probably came at the best time of the season
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Dallas. Early in the season,
Well,
where
you
they
wanna
got
lose
punched
early.
They
You
got
always wanna
punched in the
lose
mouth,
early.
and they're like, "Oh shit, we actually have to bring it every single week." And 17 weeks is a
But
long
also,
fucking time.
I feel like there is a huge disparity in coaching between Bill Belichick and Mike McCarthy.
I mean, they're both established.
like
they both have Super Bowls. They
Well,
both
and
have Super Bowls
yeah.
under their belt.
I agree. They're both established coaches, but I don't think there's a huge disparity in that sense. I mean,
I think Bill Belichick can scheme for the Cowboys. I don't think Mike McCarthy can scheme for the Patriots.
I think Dan Quinn can scheme for the Patriots.
Is that the
we have
coordinator?
we
right?
have, yeah,
Is that-
we have 2. We have a head coach that is won a Super Bowl. We have a defensive coordinator that's been to a Super Bowl that did get routed by
by Bill Belichick. Yep.
So maybe he might have a little chip on his shoulder coming on this one. Maybe he saw what.
Yeah.
Bill
Hey
Belichick
guys,
did to him.
don't have a 25-point lead at halftime.
Exactly. I might feel a little.
Hey, this is my advice.
I
Don't
might
have
feel
a
a little
25-point
suspect
lead at halftime.
if the Cowboys are up 25 points at halftime, and then can't put it past Bill Belichick ever. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I do feel that we're going to come out with a win on this one.
We both agreed. I think you guys win the game, but I think it's close.
We kind of both came out on like the same result.
I think
I said 20-17. He said
I said
21-17.
21-17. Yeah.
Just because that's the Belichickism for you. And also, what do you think about the hand signals getting stolen? You got any input on that? Did you tell Will Greer?
I
anything before he went out?
I think that's a Bill Belichick move. Is to he saw that he's gonna play us on week 4, and we just dropped a quarterback that actually looked very well in that last preseason game. He played very well, and it was a good move on Bill Belichick to bring him in, and always get that little upper hand that he tries to do.
So we all agree that the
What?
Patriots are cheaters, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Are we all agreeing on that?
Is this like a Patriots move to constantly? I love this move. If they was like constantly bring in ex quarterbacks from the team you play, and put them in the practice squad?
I mean, it's a smart move. I mean, we
No,
did
it's-
it. We did it with Trey Lance, and we have 49ers coming in week 5. So let's see how that goes.
I like
And,
this.
it's gonna be a good little measure to see how 49ers do against Cardinals this week as well, because they're playing them as well.
Do you
And then
think Trey Lance ever read the 49ers playbook?
especially after he got dropped to third string.
they had a picture book for him, but I think he was able to.
They just gave him Madden 23, and it's like, all right, you're the 49ers. Go see what plays you like.
This was an
Got a
established
good point,
playbook.
because I didn't even think about that. I don't think I even remember that Trey Lance was the backup quarterback right now.
And he's like I feel like he's like the fourth string
But now we
quarterback
have
for
the most
Dallas.
beautiful experiment right now.
Is
where
Cooper Rush still there? Or?
Cooper Rush is still there. He's
Is he
number
still?
2. It's Cooper Rush, and
Cooper
then
Rush
you have
has
Trey
got to
Lance.
be above Trey Lance.
I wonder why isn't he going somewhere else? I feel like the guy's so marketable, and it seems like every time they put him in, that's the biggest announcement of the game. Cooper Rush at quarterback.
because he
Which
had such a
Steph won
good
twice.
he had a good showing last
Because
last year.
when Dak
when Dak
throws out his pec or whatever, or like
Broke
tears
his
his
thumb. It was broke
ACL,
his thumb.
would you rather have Cooper Rush or Trey Lance right now?
Right now, actually, I would rather have Trey Lance. I think the
And-
athleticism. I mean, the Cooper Rush games last year, you have to see that they never went over 22, 23 points a game in offense scoring. What one of those games that made him look good.
But Trey Lance is the guy who can get
I
you
think
there.
he's a little bit more athletic. I think he.
So
can
what?
maybe,
He can run for 50 yards.
I mean, he's pretty much untested. I
Also-
mean, it's hard to say. He didn't really have that.
Yeah,
many
you're
games to
right.
show.
He's only played like 10 games in his entire
He
like
probably-
high
I
school,
think
college,
700
and
snaps is what he totally has from high school to the pros. I think. he's at
Also,
700 snaps.
let me ask you this serious question: with Dak's contract coming up here soon, is Trey going to be the next guy up? Or
absolutely not. They're going to pay Dak.
Is Dak going to
Yeah.
get paid again? Are we going to have to go through all this bullshit
They're-
again, where it's him and Jerry Jones in the news every single week?
They're going to pay Dak again. That's
With
what Jerry
all
does.
the money that's got paid to all these quarterbacks over the last 2 years, are they going to give Dak that golden parachute? Are they going to give him the? And also, is he going to perform after that? You remember how hard that last contract negotiation was?
I think so. I remember it, and I think he might take a more team-friendly deal this time.
I would hope he would.
Knowing
no
He's gotta
player
take the-
has ever taken a team-friendly
he's
deal
gotta take
unless
the
they're
Brady deal.
Tom
Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady did it. But
And
he
you know
won
what? You know
5
why
Super
Tom
Bowls
Brady
at the time.
took that? Because he had so much goddamn money.
And
it
because
didn't
and at
fucking
the time he
matter.
already had 5 Super Bowls, so it's just like, you know what? I'll take a little
I
bit.
think he'll do it to get his first Super Bowl. I think that this team right now is built around a couple at least being in contention for the next couple of years, and I think I can see him.
Switching gears real quick. Rangers or Astros? What's you got a baseball team?
I do have a baseball team. It is the Rangers, but
you think
What happened
they,
to them this year?
they're good? No,
They're
I think
good. They do
they're
good,
getting in.
but-
They went into a little bit of a.
But they started out hot. I think they're
But I think the Astros take it.
well. I think
I think they take the whole thing. So
no way.
Yeah.
The Astros take the whole thing.
I think the Astros take
coming
the whole
out
thing.
of possibly like the second or third wild card spot.
I think they take the whole thing. I think that Altuve, he can catch fire at any time.
This is a Texas mentality, and I love it. I love it.
That's what happens.
No,
But
dude, I love the Texas
is there
mentality.
joy talking to
Yeah,
you?
I love it, Jose.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Jose,
come on anytime, because
Yeah,
we're
of
going to be
course.
talking a lot of shit about Dallas and everything like that, but it's been fantastic. So
Hey, anytime Milton has pneumonia or whatever he wants to call it, and we need a Texas guy,
Hey, let me know.
we'll
Let me know.
we'll flash you the bat signal from across the street. How about that?
Sounds
Jose?
great, guys. All right.
sounds good, my friend. Well, now we're losing this guy, but at the same time, we have somebody right now that claims that the Kansas City Royals are the best team.
Oh, love it. Get in here, Todd.
And here we go, gentlemen.
What are these?
We
what
are
is going
not,
on here?
We are not the best team in baseball. We're just the hottest team in baseball.
For
if
what?
you
Like,
look at every
temp-
fucking
Since
stat,
what?
Temperature-wise?
2017?
we have won 9 out of the last 10 games. We're 9-1 out of 10 games. There's no other team in the league that has done that.
Let me take
Everybody in the
Let me take a
playoff
moment to
race-
introduce you guys to Todd Beatty, the biggest Kansas City Royals or Kansas City
And
Chiefs or
how
Kansas
many-
City Royals.
how
Are you
many
both?
games?
Bigger Royals fan,
you guys
but
are
love the
like-
Chiefs. Yes.
You guys
Todd,
are
here to
you guys
tonight.
are what
We're not
30,
talking about
30,
not gonna make the
30
playoffs.
games back of the AL Central right now, or
Oh yeah, 30.5 games back.
love? That's
Yes.
a guess. I'm glad it was
And,
close.
with last night's loss to Detroit, it still puts us 4 games ahead of Oakland.
Why are we talking about Kansas City Royals right now?
Because we're the hottest team in baseball.
Royals,
Over
hottest
the-
team in
over the
baseball.
Oakland A's.
We're the hottest team in baseball
Oh,
right now.
the Las
it
Vegas
just
A's.
needs to be addressed.
I think I know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I hope you're rooting for the Baltimore Orioles to win it all this year.
You know what?
You, as a Royals fan,
Rick Dempsey in
We're-
1984
we're
was
under-
my
we're-
hero.
we're underdog guys.
Rip Dixie, Jim Palmer.
Jim Palmer,
Hey,
1968.
fucker threw a fastball.
Hey,
right?
Brooke Robin.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Brooks
Brooks
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah.
Best
We
third
gotta go.
baseman.
We gotta go Orioles.
I am all Orioles all the way, American League, but I did put $140 on Toronto to win me 14,000.
I kind of like
So
that.
I secretly-
No, I
I
actually
have
like
no
that
problem
bet.
with that bet,
secretly root for.
Wait, they were. Oh, was
Blue
this?
Yeah.
This wasn't now.
through the Moon Man.
This was a couple months ago, right?
yeah, through the Moon Man before season started.
Wait, so
You know, there's no way he put that bet in, right?
so
I
you're-
mean, we all know Mooney. There's no way he put that bet in.
Well, it still says it on my.
He'll go to jail before he
yeah, before he
honors
pays.
that bet. Yeah.
well,
The
Todd,
Moon Man, the Moon Man,
Todd,
Listen, the Moon Man.
Todd, you're a big Royals fan.
Huge Royals fan.
Are you a big Chiefs fan as well?
I am a Chiefs fan,
What
and
are-
I
what-
will
okay.
not talk about Taylor Swift.
You don't have to. You could just tell me what you're feeling right now. We'll call her.
She's rich and has a nice ass. Get it, TK.
Does she, though?
Get it, TK.
Well, that doesn't seem real though, does it? I think he's just doing it as a promotion. He's just getting people to watch.
Why
Sell
do you
those-
why do you have to promote the Chiefs, and why does she have to promote herself?
Jersey sales.
And
They're already
her tour's
there.
over. And her
His
tour is
jersey. No,
completely
his
over.
jersey sales went up 400%.
Yes.
Does he get part of that,
Oh, he gets all of it.
or is that the team?
No, it's your own jersey sales. You get that's your thing.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
So,
the
hey,
cop. I like the
if
cop.
that-
I like the
if
cop
that's
mustache
his-
too.
If that's his angle, he should come here and fuck me. It'll go up 600%.
Ooh.
All right.
Hey, and 5, 4, 3, 2.
And, not feeling T Swift. Well, it's been another bizarre podcast. Another
Hey, there's two of us. I think we'll have four of us next week.
6 dudes on this 2 dudes in a sports bar podcast.
Maybe we'll have a tennis match.
I'm so glad we talked so much about baseball, mainly the Kansas City Royals, but
Hey, you know what? If we can't do it, hey, how tall are you?
6'6".
Ah, fuck, you got me. All
Mooney
right.
6'7".
No, I was gonna. If we couldn't do tennis, I was gonna challenge you to a one-on-one basketball match. But I can't play anyone who's taller than me. They just beat the shit out of me.
All right, it's fine. We'll get.
I have a lot of pump fake action. I mean, I'm 6'3".
Well, that's what you got to do when you're shorter.
No, I got a real good pump fake, but
Wow, this has been another disaster. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get this
disaster.
thing up as a great disaster. Just like a meteor
Hey,
hitting Jerry's
call
world.
311. We've got a beautiful disaster.
I guess that's all we got to say.
Signing
today.
off
We
for
will
the
see
Two
you guys
Dudes
later.
on a Sports Bar podcast.
Never again.